My name is Róna Kopeczky. I'm a curator and art historian based in Budapest. And the exhibition that we are in now, entitled Constellations, the idea of the exhibition is quite complex. I would say the main message is that for a very long time now, we have experienced in Hungary the fetishization of the neo-avant-garde generation. So this pioneering generation that is recognized. The main artistic production goes from the mid-60s to the end of the 70s or beginning of 80s. And Western institutions, museums, and also art fairs are very much centered on this period of Hungarian art. Centered so much that they barely see anything else to be interesting. And although there are very bold, valuable, experimental artistic positions among mid-generation or younger artists, it is very difficult to promote them abroad because of this extremely strong focus on the neo-avant-garde generation. So the idea of the show is to loosen up a bit this very straightforward focus and to show that the generation we are presenting at Paris Gallery has kept a conceptual direction, has also kept a critical content, inherited obviously from the neo-avant-garde generation, but that the medium they use, the media they combine, the size that they are working in, the way they inhabit the space, also the new technologies they are using in some cases are very far from this economy of means that characterized the production of the neo-avant-garde generation. Very far from the small size, from the low-tech character of the works that were produced back then. And it is also a way to show that this kind of Central and Eastern European low-tech chic that characterizes the neo-avant-garde generation and that fascinates Western institutions and Western art fairs is not prolonged in this generation. Of course, the country has opened. Of course, young artists are much more connected through Instagram, through social media, through internet, through a lot of different channels, through travels. And their artistic production is really worth paying attention to. This is the central message of the exhibition. That's the central endeavor, let's say. So in total, we have 18 artistic positions. 2 of them are duos. So in total, there are 20 individuals, let's say. And the media that are presented here vary from textile to ceramic to beeswax to porcelain to 3D pen elaborated objects or 3D printing sculptures through very traditional media such as classical painting. The materials are not only approached, let's say, separately. Sometimes they are combined. Sometimes textile is being used with ceramics. Sometimes sound is used with textile. Sometimes porcelain is combined with beeswax. So there are very interesting coupling of materials which are, I think, make this exhibition really exciting. From a broader artistic context, Hungarian contemporary art, I think, is really following international trends. So in terms of the material, the size, the dimensions used, I really do not see differences from Western European or from American artistic productions. Of course, the thematics that are treated might be more specific locally, because Hungary was not a colonial country, a colonial empire. So the whole idea of notion of decolonization is less treated, less obvious, and not really relevant in Hungary. Nevertheless, the strong conceptual inheritage that has been characterizing the whole scene for decades is really something that is very present nowadays. But also, I think the general perspective of the comeback to the material, the tactility, the importance of touching is really very obvious in this exhibition. So we feel that with works with textile, with works with ceramic, with works that employ the traditional medium of painting, where you really see the gesture of painting, the trace of the brush. I wouldn't say that Hungary has any delay in contemporary art tendencies. It's just that it's a small country with a very difficult language, and this is one of the main reasons, I believe, that there is less attention. I think the whole Central and Eastern European context is still seen as exotic, is still seen as some kind of weird black hole, if I might say so, from which people have less information, from which they are less curious about. It's not an obvious region of the world. Of course, now the international tendencies are mostly highlighting African contexts, Asian, South Asian contexts, and South American contexts, or indigenous contexts, which is really a worldwide, network of questions. Hungary falls out of this pot, I would say, but it is definitely connected to the European context, much more than it was before. I wish Hungarian artists would be more visible and more present on the international art scene. I believe it's a mix of different reasons. It's not an obvious destination to go to and to discover an art scene without having any prior input or information about the country, about its history, about the cultural political landscape. And without a guide, it's difficult to get to the artists that you would naturally be interested in. This is why this exhibition is really extraordinary and a great momentum for young Hungarian artists to be able to showcase their practice, sometimes in many occasions totally new works made for this exhibition especially. So we are really thankful to Paris Gallery for opening and for being curious and for also trusting young artists that they didn't know of previously to do new pieces for the show.